Awesome. Metal Summoners, we appreciate you guys as always. You've been rocking out with us, Stern Rockin' Pod, and we've got a little bit more action for us. But again, we can't appreciate all of the Rockin' Pod staff for everything that they've been doing us and allowing us to rock out. We're going to jump right into it with, especially when it comes to us being East Coast guys, me and Megan especially being in Maryland. But we felt it very, very fortunate, very lucky, and very honored to have a member of Kicks joining us to close out Rockin' Pod with us, man. Thank you so much, Brian, for taking some time to hang. You know, you and I have gotten to talk a couple of times over the years. When right before one of the M3s, you were playing with Rhino Bucket, and you did like a small show right before M3 that you and I got to do a chit chat at. But first and foremost, man, thank you for everything that you gave us with Kicks, of course. And how's everything been lately? How's 2025 treating you?
Some parts are good. You know, I just did the Monsters Rock Cruise with Brian Forsythe. Yeah, not playing with Kicks anymore is a little weird.
Yeah.
I'm starting to accept it.
For sure. Absolutely. How do you look back at that show at Merriweather, you know, with people coming in on stage and, of course, playing those songs for, you know, the last time and whatnot in the full build-up? How do you look back at that night?
I think, with the crowd and all that stuff and the production, you know, it was a good way to go out.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, when Steve first told us that, you know, that he was going to give it up, I was kind of resistant. But then, you know, with all that last show and everything, and then a little while later, it's just sunk in that I go, I'm all right with this.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And of course, you've been playing with Rhino Bucket for quite a while now. You know, there's been a little bit of time where there's been a little bit of like live gaps that have come in at times, which always happens. But how was it, you know, being on the Monsters of Rock cruise, of course, being very familiar with it, that you are, but playing with Rhino Bucket again?
Well, you know, I've been with Rhino Bucket since 2000 or so. And you know, recorded full records with them. And you know, it was always, well, when I first played, that was my main priority, and then Kicks came back around. In 2003. And at first, Kicks would do like a group of maybe 5 shows twice a year. And then all the rest of the year, I was free to play with Rhino Bucket. And it seemed like, then after a while, Kicks started with Rhino Bucket, and there was overlapping gigs, and I had to find a replacement for the Rhino Bucket gigs, so I could go do the Kicks gigs, and then Kicks just took over.
Yeah.
And then Rhino Bucket was the only time, really the only time we had was January or February, because Kicks wasn't doing much during those months, so I could go with that. It was Rhino Bucket over a year, so we just moved over there. What was your question?
Oh, no problem. I was just like, you know, just how has it felt, you know, back with Rhino Bucket, but just in the terms, of course, with Rhino Bucket being that focus again.
Well, now it's like, now we got a booking agent. This last guy that we talked to him back in September, and so far he's got us one gig. So he didn't even get us Monster Rock. We already had that before. But yeah, because now I got all the time to do it. But, you know, living here in Nashville, there's so much going on. It's like I'm sort of overhandling at this point.
Absolutely, for sure. And before I kick it over to Angel and let him take it away, like we were at, you know, the Rare Hair event last night, and there's more of the All-Star Jam type situations, you know, events tonight. And of course, Nashville being Nashville, like you said, there's so much opportunity and so much ability to play. Like, do you look at those type of things as stuff that you enjoy or would like to do more on the regular, just to get out, to play, you know, do some jams, just maybe play some various club type situations?
Yeah, the jams are a little stressful. It's just, you know, like the equipment, you don't know what you're getting into. You get up there on stage and you don't know if the amp's going to be good or not. But couple of weeks ago, this band, Little Caesar, was in town.
Oh, sure.
They're friends of mine. I've known these guys forever. So they had me come down and sit in on the song. But I was able to go to the sound check and bring it in. So I was prepared.
Oh.
So I had my own sound. And that was a lot of fun. And last night was good.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. No, Ron's been very courteous to us. We've gotten to interview him a couple of times, so we definitely always give thumbs up when it comes to Little Caesar, of course. Angel, my friend.
And I just want to say thank you for your time. It's nice to, well, I actually met you 2015 at Kicksmas. I was interviewing Steve Whiteman for Metal Sludge. I've always loved the Kicksmas shows. It's always been, especially part of my heart. How did that, who came up with that idea to do a Kicksmas show?
I don't know. It just sort of happened. I think, yeah, one year they just called me Christmas, and then from then on, that's what we did.
That's always been like the highlight. It's like Kicksmas show. It's December, besides Christmas.
Yeah, it was
Kicksmas show.
Always like Rams Head and then Brunswick Fire Hall.
It's just always been like a tradition almost.
Yeah.
To go to that show.
Yeah, I think maybe we did a T-shirt or something, and we used the term Kicksmas on it.
But it's stuck. It's like I said, it's almost like part of the holiday. It's just going because this, kick-ass rock show, Baltimore in December. Love the weather.
Yeah, well, the year that we did 2023, the last show was in September. We already had all these shows booked. We had a Christmas show booked for that year too, and we had to cancel it. So that was really
you're living here in Nashville, where it's like music everywhere. How was it just adjusting when you first moved out here?
It's too hard. It's sort of like I have this mentality where, like, wherever I am, that's where I am. So, like, I'm all those years on the road. I'm just living in a hotel. And, yeah, it even felt like that. Like, when I went to jail, I remember Ronnie came to visit me in jail. This was at the end of the 90s, before I got sober. And I was talking to Ronnie behind the glass. On the phone thing. he goes, how you doing? And I was like, it's like Holiday Inn or something. Just another place to sleep. but as far as, I don't know, Nashville's really laid back, kind of, well, maybe not downtown, but, it's just got a cool vibe. And I came here right at the beginning of 2019. So I had about a year before that pandemic hit. And then when that hit, it was that was kind of like a blessing in disguise, because all of a sudden I didn't have to go anywhere. I could just be in my house and enjoy nothing. So it's been good.
For sure. Do you ever, with Nashville, and of course there's different areas, you had mentioned downtown, of course, but with Nashville also just being as busy as it is, do you ever find it difficult to get any type of quiet time for yourself or your family, where you want to just kind of not have much excess noise, or you kind of cool with everything?
No, because I have to venture out to find noise. It's really nice in my house. Like, nobody's behind me. I got deer in my yard. And
nice.
It's beautiful.
Oh, absolutely. Angel?
When it comes to guitars, what guitar do you like to use the most?
Probably not Telecaster. But I got a bunch of guitars. So it's like, sometimes I think, I'll look at one of my guitars, I go, man, I haven't played that in years. Like, it's just sitting there. So I'll pick it up and play something. But yeah, my favorite guitar is the Telecaster. I got one particular one. I have 7 Telecasters.
Oh, wow.
So I have one favorite. And then I like the guitar I played last night. That's a 58 Les Paul Special. 59 TV Model Junior that I like. I was going to use that last night, but one of the frets is buzzing out on it, so I decided to go with the special. But I like, I got a few Les Pauls. I don't know, I have a couple of PRSs even.
Nice.
And a couple of Strats. But, yeah, Telecasters.
Do you find that older models of those guitars are your comfort zone?
Yeah. Well, the PRSs aren't that old.
Yeah, the PRSs are going to be more,
One of them is
probably a little newer overall.
the one they built for me, custom made for me for doing that ad. Remember that ad I did?
Yeah.
So that one I've had since about '91. So I guess it's considered finished.
No, for sure. And just kind of like something fun for the show. When it comes to obviously all the members of Kicks have got their various nicknames. How for our show? How did yours come about?
Oh, that's an easy one. Back when we were recording Midnight Dynamite, we did it up in New York City. So every night at the end of the recording session, we'd all go out and go to this one bar. And my favorite drink was Manhattan. It's like a martini, a bourbon martini, basically. And we'd just get hammered, and then we'd come in the next day, and this one day was particularly a horrible hangover. So I go in there, and I forget who was out in the studio, but Bo Hill was behind the board. And I just walk in and I lay down on the couch that's in front of the console, and I'm just laying there going, I'm just moaning. It was just in agony. And then every time the music was going, and then when he stopped the music, you'd hear me down there moaning on the couch. And then finally he walked around the console, and he looked at me. Looked at me laying there. I looked at him with one eye, and he goes, and his nickname for me was Brain. And he goes, brain damage. and then on it stuff.
I always kind of thought to myself that it might have something similar to that, being that it was Brian, because that was one of the ways that I always kind of looked at it. Is I was like, it either has something to do with that, or it's just a reckless youth. And Angel, let's kick it over to you, man, as we close out.
When it comes to Kicks, do you have a favorite Kicks album?
I think musically I like Hot Rod, but Roma musically is like, I don't know, I love them all. It's like children, you can't watch them.
I mean, the last one, Keep Credit, that was a great album.
So good. The Rock Your Face
Love
Off.
You with Your Top Down.
I forgot about that.
But Love You with Your Top Down, that song gets me in a lot of trouble. And like, how freaking cool that you can still make a rock song that still gets me in trouble.
Absolutely, 100%. And as like a final question for you, Brian, when it comes to Rhino Bucket, bringing it back around to Rhino Bucket, is there anything that you can tell us based on what you're allowed to talk about potential new music or a new record?
Yeah, we've talked about it. It's sort of like similar to Kids. We talked about it for a long time before anything happened.
Yeah.
But the last Rhino Bucket we did was the album we did was in 2017. So a couple times along the way, George starts rounding up some ideas and sending them to me, and then we sort of dissipates, and then we bring it back around again. So I think eventually, the problem is financing. We can't really afford to record an album, but yeah, that's something you have to figure out.
Absolutely. Well, Brian, we can't thank you enough. We're honored that you took the time out of your schedule